it is time, so I'm going to go ahead and start. First, I'm going to just say thanks for joining us here at IMES for this webinar. We'll be hearing from Tyler Randall today from Stonewood. But before we hear from Tyler, I want to go over a couple things for you to keep in mind for the reasons that you should partner with IMES or continue to partner with IMES. So feel free to ask any questions about any of this stuff that we're going to go over here in the front intro section during the webinar, and I will get that information back to you at some point today after the webinar. We offer a new producer program to help you build production. This program runs through the first 180 days. You can see some of the different offerings here on the screen. There are 5 tiers with great things to choose from, such as cash, travel, marketing reimbursement, dollars. There's a lot of good stuff. This isn't all that you see on the screen. There's a lot of good options. And it's just our way of saying thank you for partnering with IMES for all new producers. Once you are done with your first 180 days, we move you over to what we call the Referred Producer Program. This is going to help increase your capital. For every producer that contracts with IMES that you've referred, you'll receive a one-time $50 bonus. But that's not where it ends. You'll also receive cash in your marketing and reimbursement account for the productions listed here. So for example, indexed annuity premium, every $100,000 of premium submitted by the referred advisor will pay you $100 into your marketing reimbursement account. For every $100,000 of single premium, it'll pay $200 into the account. And for every $10,000 of target premium for life business, it'll pay you $200 per account. One thing to note is that it is paid on a quarterly basis. And keep in mind, the money does not come out of the referred producer's pocket. It's from IMES. It's just another way of saying thank you for the referral, so that, you know, referrals are just as important to IMES as they are to advisors, and we all know how important that is to you guys for getting new clients. So it's just our way of saying thank you. Service is our number one goal here at IMES. We aren't looking to be the biggest in the industry. We just want to provide the best customer service in the industry. So that means picking up the phone every time you call in and following up from submission to commission on all your business for every line of business here at IMES. We have one of the best teams possible to assist you in working smarter and not harder. Our goal is to take some of the workload off of you to give you more time to meet with your clients instead of doing paperwork and calling out and following up on cases. We have some of the top sales expertise and coaching available. We have a website that has a lot of good resources on it, which we'll talk about here in a second. The IMES website, it's there. It's available 24/7. You can use this. I'm not going to go over all of the stuff on the website, just a couple of highlighter areas. I just encourage you to check it out, and if you haven't registered for it, go ahead and register and get started out there and look at the resources we offer. One of the favorite places of mine is the Sales Resource Library. There's tons of information out there, from fact finders to white papers, videos on different topics, and education for you and the client, education for each line of business that we have here. It's also a great place to submit applications. It's a one-stop shop. So one password will get you the ability to submit life, annuity, Medicare, and you don't have to remember 3 different passwords, just the one. So you can start, if you submit through our e-app, Firelight, or Medicare app through the IMES website, it gives us the ability to see them immediately, and we can start assisting you day one instead of waiting for the carrier to notify us that you have submitted an application. And we would have the ability to help push that through just to get it to commission faster. So as I was mentioning, we have a Firelight option out there on the website. Here's some of the carriers for the annuity and life applications. Most of the life applications are to be submitted on iPipeline's e-app, but there are a few on Firelight. A popular one there would be Allianz and National Western. So we've got a great creative department. They're an amazing team. So for the creative department, they can assist you at no cost to you if you're consistently writing business through IMES. They can assist you with turnkey solutions, agency solutions, digital solutions. They can design logos for you, design postcards, design your website, help you with digital marketing strategies. And speaking of digital marketing strategies, I'm going to put a poll question up real quick. Leave it up there for a little bit. Launch the poll question. So if we haven't done a marketing analysis for you, I encourage you to connect with one of your marketing people, either annuity or life. Either way, the analysis will be the same. So I advise you to really highly encourage you to connect with one of them. I'm going to leave it up for a couple more seconds. Moving on. We offer, for those of you that don't know, we also have an RIA in our office. Charles Jr. and his team do a great job. If you have your Series 65 and you're currently looking for an RIA or you're unhappy with your current RIA, please reach out to one of us here and we'll connect you with Duncan to tell you a little bit more about what they can offer you besides great client services. We also offer trips to our advisors. Currently, we are doing the Park City, Utah trip for the mountain retreat. Qualification period ends, so if you're not currently with us and you're new to IMES, kind of too late for that one, but there's another one coming up, the Sanctuary at Kiowa Island in South Carolina. So the double trip credits are over, but there's 18 months to qualify, so the qualification period is through December 2023, and the trip is going to be in April of 2024. So if you qualify for that, just reach out to a marketer to get the details on how to qualify for that. Follow us and like us on Facebook and LinkedIn, please. And I'm going to drop another poll question here real quick, just to get an idea of if you do or do not, like how many people currently sell IULs. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that out. Thank you. And then I am going to hand controls over to Tyler with Stonewood. He's going to talk to you today about their offerings and how they position taxes and how they can provide great resources and simple presentations that a client, no matter who the client is, can understand. Even my 79-year-old mother could understand these.
Terrific. Well, hopefully that everybody can see that okay. And thank you for having me. Thank you all for joining us today. Appreciate your time on this Thanksgiving week. So, we're kind of winding down here towards the end of the year. And as we look forward into next year, just wanted to give you guys all some ideas on where we think the market is as far as getting new prospects and helping our current client base. And we think that the tax-free message is certainly something that can really help you differentiate your business. And what we're going to talk about here with our time today is not only how you can differentiate your business through the tax practice, but how you can help your clients complete their portfolios. And I think it's really important that if you don't take anything else out of what we're talking about today, that complete their portfolio is really critical, because a lot of times when we're meeting with a client or prospect, especially a prospect, a lot of advisors make the mistake of saying, hey, you're where you're doing this, you're doing it wrong. Let me help you do it right. Or the advisor you're using right now is doing it wrong, which means the client is doing something wrong. And usually when we position something like that, a client or prospect might dig their heels in and say, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. They almost might double down on it, even if it is wrong. But if you use the word complete, to a prospect or a client, let me help you complete your retirement plan. Now they're like, there's something that I'm missing. Okay, tell me more. And that's just what we're doing here with Stonewood, and the tax-free tools that we're going to introduce you to here is a way to not only differentiate your practice, but also complete it. And we think right now going into, certainly towards the end of this year and next year, taxes are on the top of everybody's mind. So how do we get in front of clients and prospects in a meaningful way where we can help show them how we can help save in taxes? You might say, well, Tyler, I'm not in the tax business. Well, you don't have to be. We make things very simple for you to market this idea, and very simple for you to present these ideas around tax savings. In fact, the way that we complete your practice and where we can help people complete their portfolios is through what we call macro tax analysis. So what is macro tax analysis? Well, micro tax analysis is what everybody does. All your CPAs do it. People are thinking about making tax deductions now so that they can reduce their 2022 taxes. And it's a very narrow focus, 1 year focus. How do I reduce taxes in 1 year? Macro tax analysis is different, and how it differentiates your business is it helps people reduce their taxes hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars over their lifetime. So when you say, I can help you do some macro tax analysis and potentially help you save hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in taxes, now we have somebody's attention. And so what I'm going to share with you is some ideas around macro tax analysis. I'm going to show you some marketing tools and resources you can use. And in fact, I'm excited about these calls because, I had an advisor. I'm going to share you the success story in just a few minutes, but I was on a call like this back in April. And from April until today, using the resources you're about to see, he added 18 new clients. They were prospects that became clients through this macro tax analysis and through the marketing I'm going to show you. And those 18 new clients brought $500,000 in new revenue for this advisor in just the last 6 months, basically. And so he had a terrific success story. We have guys and gals that have done way more than that. Some that maybe only added 50 or 70,000 in new revenue. But what I'm going to show you works, and I'm excited to show it to you because if you're on this call looking for some ideas, we're going to give you some that are very timely and that can work very well for your business right now. So let's take a look at macro tax analysis and what we mean. And I'm just going to show you an example. And this is you probably have all kinds of clients and prospects that look like this. Client's 64 years old, they're in the 25% tax liability. Maybe they have other assets, but in their IRA, they have $500,000 in their IRA. And we're going to assume a 5% growth rate. When we want to talk to clients and prospects about tax analysis like this, or macro tax analysis, we want to say, okay, what sort of taxes are you going to pay if you just let this account grow and take your required minimum distributions? What happens if I reallocate those required distributions into another non-qualified asset that the IRS can tax? And what happens to that value of your IRA once you die? In other words, what do your beneficiaries pay in taxes? And let's just kind of add it all up. And so if we look at just the RMDs alone on $500,000, it's about $200,000, right? People might be surprised to see that. If I reallocate those RMDs into another like mutual fund or CD or something that generates an income, the IRS is going to tax that to the tune of about $96,000 from age 72 to age 90. We have this client dying at age 90. And then when he dies, there's $156,000 due in taxes from this qualified account. So the total tax bill is $456,868. And you might look at that and just like clients and prospects will, they'll say, dang, that's a lot. How am I going to pay $500,000 in taxes on a $500,000 account? And this is new news to them. And so we've got their attention. When we're talking about macro tax analysis and we can show them what their current taxes are, we've now got somebody's attention. And this is what really gets their attention, is if we talk about converting to a tax-free, and this is where our differentiation or completion of our business comes in. If we talk about reallocating this $500,000 to a tax-free, which is usually done over a period of time, maybe it's over 5 years or 7 years or 3 years or 4 years, but it's taking a piece of this out. And for our purposes here today, we're just gonna say, let's take $100,000 out a year. I'm in the 25% tax rate, so I'm gonna send $25,000 to the IRS, and then I'm gonna reinvest in a tax-free, the $75,000. So if I did that over 5 years, my total taxes would be $125,000. So again, 25,000 times 5 years, right? Now when I do that, there's no taxes on the growth. Now that I've invested in a tax-free Roth, there's no taxes at death, and my total taxes are $125,000. So we just looked at one approach, which is if somebody kept their dollars and did nothing, they're going to pay about $450,000 in taxes. And if they convert to a tax-free Roth, they could lower that tax rate down to $125,000. You might say, well, that's great, Tyler, but how would we do this and portray this simply to a client or prospect? Well, we've got you covered on that. And this is the #1 conversion report in the business right now. It's our total tax impact report. And it just does 2 columns, very simple, just like, we're saying, just so your grandma can understand this. Here's what happens tax-wise if you keep your qualified account. Here's what happens if we convert to a Roth. And it's very simple, and anybody can see that the number on the left is much bigger than the number on the right. So this is if taxes remain the same. The whole idea of this call was, how do we hedge against rising tax risk? And how would taxes, if they move up, affect the taxes on the left-hand column? Well, let's take a look at it. So right now we know that our current taxes would be $125,000 on our $500,000. Over time, we're probably going to pay about $450,000 in taxes if taxes stay flat. But what happens if taxes go up? And what would be the impact? And I think this is where a lot of people struggle. It's like, okay, how do I forecast taxes on an increase? And everybody on this call probably feels like taxes are moving up and will be higher, but how much higher? And how would I even forecast that? Well, let me give you a simple approach, and this is something we coach to a lot at Stonewood. But we just take a look back. To go forward, we can take a look back. And if we look at what the middle quintile, so kind of middle America, pays in taxes, back in 1998, tax rates were about 28% for the middle quintile, kind of the middle America. And in 2018, they were 22%. So the difference there is about 30%. And if we look at it and say, okay, if we're going to look forward, what would a 30% increase to current tax rates be? And they'd be about 32.5%. So all we're doing is saying, okay, if we look back and we took tax rates from our past and we applied them to a forward look, here's what our increase would be. Now, I will tell you, in our software, you can forecast whatever you feel comfortable with. It's just an example here. So we're looking at what would happen if our tax rate went to 32.5% from 25%, which was our assumption in our example. So if we looked at that and we said, okay, now that we have a little bit higher tax rate, what would our RMD taxes be? Well, they jumped to $265,000. If I reinvest those RMDs, now that jumps to $110,000. And at death, there's $202,000 in taxes. So the total tax bill here is $578,000. Our taxes went up almost $100,000 with a pretty mild tax increase. And if we look at our conversion to a tax-free, it remains the same, because taxes, we're looking at taxes increasing maybe 2026 and beyond, when the current tax code sunset, and most Americans are going to see a tax rate increase. So if we look at this and we say, okay, currently our taxes stay the same, 125,000, but if taxes do go up, my tax bill could go from 450,000 to 580,000. That's $130,000 more in taxes. And if somebody says, let me analyze this $500,000 for you, if you're saying, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect or Mrs. Client, let me take a look at this $500,000 with a rising tax environment, and someone sees that they could pay $580,000 in taxes on $500,000, they're going to be shocked. You're going to be giving them news that they may have not ever seen from any other advisor or any other person, that tax or financial advisor or agent that they've ever talked to. And so now you're differentiating your business. You're saying, let me take you from a $580,000 potential tax bill to a $125,000 tax bill. And that's how we complete a practice. Now, if this was all of somebody's money, we certainly wouldn't recommend that you convert all of it. But what we're doing is we're grabbing somebody's attention with macro tax analysis, and we're starting to talk about ways to help them reduce taxes in a very simple way. So now I think you've got the idea of what it is. Let me share with you how Stonewood helps you not only tell this story in an easy, simple way, but how you can translate that into new clients and new business for the remainder of this year and looking forward into next year. So we do three things. When you come on as a Stonewood member, we do three things. One is we provide you marketing tools and resources in the forms of books, seminars, our retirement tax bill site, which I'll share with you here in a second, to market the idea of tax-free planning. Then we give you a software program to help you incorporate and do a point of sale presentation that's very simple for your clients and prospects. And we do very comprehensive training on all of it. And so we help you become experts in this macro tax analysis. So let's talk a little bit about the marketing. We break our marketing into two areas. The marketing that the macro tax analysis predominantly is focused on that bottom row, which we call the existing assets. So this would be a demographic age 60 plus, and there's two programs we use. One is the new holistic retirement, which focuses on Roth conversion. So we're not necessarily talking about product in that marketing suite, and that's a book. We have a book that's 100 pages long called the New Holistic Retirement. We also have a seminar called The Rising Tax Risk that goes there. We have lots of client one-pagers and white papers for you to market with. If you want to market IUL as a solution, we use the No Compromise Retirement Plan, and that is a book and a seminar and client one-pagers and white papers that talks about converting qualified money to an IUL specifically. If you say, hey, Tyler, I don't have anybody that's really 60, my target market is under 60, they're saving for retirement, the marketing focus you would use is called the New Rules of Retirement Savings. And really that same kind of strategy applies where we talk about saving in a 401k versus saving in an IUL. And we have lots of software and marketing for that. And we can show somebody why saving an IUL versus a 403b makes sense, or in addition to, or as a complement to. But just focus on our existing asset clients right now. Let me show you a very simple way to market. And this is actually what that advisor that I mentioned back in April that was on a call like this, that's been using this program and has added 18 new clients. He's been using a program we call Retirement Tax Bill. And what Retirement Tax Bill is and how it works is it is a custom landing page and microsite that we build out for your business. So this says sample company on it, but if you can picture it with your company logo and info, it just says, is your retirement tax bill too big? Find out in 30 seconds. And so the way that advisors and our members are using this is to send this out to all of your clients and warm leads over age 60. And the note on your email might be, hey, this will take you 30 seconds, but could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. And that's it. And what you've done is now you've introduced a macro tax analysis with really by pressing a button and sending your landing page out to somebody. And when somebody sees this, is my tax bill too big? Find out in 30 seconds. It allows them to put their name, age, dollar amount in their qualified account. If they know their tax rate, they can slide that little bar there. If they don't know it, they can click I don't know, and it'll default to 25%, and they can see their bill. They can get a calculation in 30 seconds like we just saw. So it's really, really efficient. And what happens is, let's say you sent this to somebody who is 60 with $500,000, they would get that same message that we just saw in our slides there, that their current approach is going to mean about $430,000 in taxes. And again, this is a flat tax rate that it's looking at. The total taxes with adjustments, and we don't say what those adjustments are, is $120,000. And your calendar link sits right there to review your results with a financial professional. Click here. And so we get 5 to 10% of people that see this screen. It's new information for them, and they can book time with you right here. And you will get people to do that. But the invitation for their next steps is to check their inbox, because what happens also when somebody fills that calculator out is a report is generated that looks like this. And let's say it was Bob who was 60, he filled out this, and he's now getting a report emailed from you to his email inbox that says, Bob, your total taxes, if you keep your qualified account, is $435,000. If we reallocate to a tax-free, we could minimize that to $125,000. And the invitation on the email invites them to a 30-minute complimentary call with you to answer questions, or to discuss, or to take a deeper dive on this macro tax analysis. But this is really engaging, and people see this report, it hits them between their eyes, it gets their attention, and they're scheduling time with you right from this email report that's sent to them. If they don't schedule time with you, everybody who runs a report from your retirement tax bill site ends up in your Stonewood dashboard, and it'll tell you if you converted them to a meeting or not. And so the whole idea is, yes, to get them on your calendar to have this discussion to help them complete their portfolio with some tax-free allocation. But if they don't schedule time with you, what do we do now? Well, I see that Bob and John and Rita here, maybe they have, collectively a couple $1 million in qualified accounts. Maybe I send them a copy of our book, The New Holistic Retirement, or the No Compromise Retirement Plan. And you can send a hard copy book. I think it's terrific this time of year. For our members, we just charge a wholesale cost. They're $7 a book. And especially where people start having time over the holidays and over, between now and the end of the year, say, hey, here's a book on that report that you just ran, Bob. It's going to explain the strategy. Give it a read, and then let's get together and talk about it. That's a really nice, soft way to intro this macro tax analysis for somebody. And if you want to send the ebook, which a lot of people like our ebook, I could email the ebook to Bob. And the cool thing about the ebook is I get the feedback, the analytics, if you will, whether Bob opened the book, whether he read one page or he read the whole book. And that's pretty cool, because now let's say I have my Stonewood dashboard and I see that I have 20 people that ran reports that didn't schedule a meeting, I could send them all the ebook. And if I see that 3 people read the whole book, they're going to be pre-sold on the strategy. They're going to get it. They're going to come to you and talk about, how do I implement this strategy? And now what have we done? We've sent an email out with our retirement tax bill site. That was very efficient. Didn't cost us a lot of money to do that. And then we sent them a copy of the book that they're pre-sold on the strategy. So now when they come in to meet with you, we can talk about implementation, and we can help coach you on how to do that. We work with IAMS and their team to help you do that. But this is a really easy way to do it. You can also invite somebody to a seminar or webinar. So we have all the PowerPoint presentations built out. In fact, the Rising Tax Risk Seminar is very popular right now. I just took you through some of those slides in the intro. As a matter of fact, that's our example we use in our seminar on the rising tax risk. The PowerPoint's built out for you to use. The speaker notes are there for you to be able to get really comfortable with how to present those slides. We even have sample videos of us presenting it, so you can watch it and really make it your own pretty quickly. But a nice way to follow up with a group of people that ran reports but didn't schedule time with you could be, hey, I've got a webinar, maybe email them. I've got a webinar on the topic of those tax savings you saw last week. I'm doing here on the 15th or whatever the date you want to pick out, and we'd love to have you attend. and maybe they attend your seminar or webinar, and you convert them into a meeting where obviously then, hopefully we can generate business from it. So these are just some simple marketing ideas. We do have a lot of client one-pagers and white papers, so you could continue, if you offered the book and the webinar and you want to continue to drip on that list of people, you certainly could send them some white papers, IRA to IUL conversion, or there's a number of them that you could use. So just know that there's a lot of content built out. We even have a follow-up funnel that you can follow if you wish and use to follow up. And the whole idea is, let's get people on your calendar. Let's get them interested in this tax-free message and completing their portfolio. And let's help them generate more business for your practice. That's the whole idea. So if we took a look at Retirement Tax Bill and used it first with our current client base and our warm leads, people that know us, we can also use it to convert prospects. And so we have people taking buttons like this, is your retirement tax bill too big? Find out 30 seconds, putting it on their website or putting it on their LinkedIn or their Facebook. And that's allowing people to get prospects that fill out that calculator and end up on your calendar. This is another graphic that you could use. The email marketing we talked about, the social media has been very popular. If you're doing workshops and seminars right now, you always end up with a list of people that RSVP'd and didn't show up, or they came to your event, they didn't become clients. Well, what do you do with those people? How do you get them re-engaged and talking to you? Well, send them a retirement tax bill, retarget that list and say, hey, sorry we didn't connect, but this is so important, I want you to see it. Send it out to them, and if they fill it out, maybe they even schedule a meeting with you, but you've re-engaged them and you know it right away. You get a ping in your email if they filled that retirement tax bill out, their name hits your dashboard, and they may just schedule a meeting off your calendar link. So maybe you have somebody that you take through this macro tax analysis and they really appreciate the tax savings that you helped them with. This is a really easy way to get a referral. Hey, if you know somebody else that might appreciate this process, could you send them my retirement tax bill site? And if they fill it out, obviously and schedule a meeting, it's a really easy way to get a referral on the calendar. So we have a whole playbook on how to use this. Just know all the content's built out for you to use. We make it super simple for you to implement in your business. I told you I started to tell you a success story. This is Bobby down in Florida that started just on a call, just like you guys right now, back in April. Implemented the retirement tax bill into his program and what he was doing. He also did seminars, and he was using this as a call to action. He got 97 total leads in the last 6 months. He got 18 new clients from those leads. Those 18 new clients did 5 million in annuity sales, 10 million in AUM, and 170K in target premium. So I'm looking at that, the deal that Trina went through on production over that first 180 days, man, if you had something, even if it was half this, you could certainly not only do a lot of new revenue for your business, but you could hit some of those marketing credits and things and load up on deals that would help you going into next year. So that's some of the marketing that I promised to show you. Let me show you some of the other reports we use. So if I have somebody that is coming in to meet with me, and I've shown them the tax bill already, and I get it, what the conversion is. I've made a tax case where usually there's hundreds of thousands of dollars in tax savings that I can share with somebody. We also can go into our software and create an income report. And the income report really just says, what does your income look like if you don't do anything? You just keep your money in your 401k or IRA, and you systematic withdraw out of it at a selected age when you're ready to retire. That's what most Americans do. And how does that compare to a Roth conversion if you did the same thing? And how does it compare to an IUL? So we do a very simple one-page report. This is an IRA. The IRA would produce about $22,000 a year in income and total of $651 net. If I converted my $500,000 to a Roth where I paid $125,000, my income actually would go up to $25,000 and $731,000 net. And again, these are one-page reports. We would lay the IRA right next to the Roth. The IRA isn't on here, but just for purposes of time, I want to show you what these look like. And then you could run the IUL report. And the IUL You can select whatever carrier you want. We've worked with their compliance and legal to simplify, so you don't have to use those 50-page carrier reports. You can use this and say, here's the one page that tells you what kind of income you're going to get from the IUL, and the small print down there is going to be, you make it compliant for you to use in your process. So here's the IRA, you got one page of income for that. Here's what the Roth conversion looks like, Mr. and Mrs. Prospector client. Here's what an IUL looks like. And usually the IUL shows very strongly because of the participating loans that we would use, and also the death benefit that kicks in at age 100 that I can't get from my Roth or my IRA. So we just lay these reports right next to each other and say, hey, you know, these are your three options. You tell me what makes the most sense for you. So we showed them a tax, conversion, savings, and we showed them, you know, income options that just make a lot of sense. And so we just try to keep it simple. Hopefully you can see that's the theme, is we don't try to make it too complicated. We try to keep it very easy for the general public to understand and for us to present. You know, if we convert to an IUL, here's the income. And we show them these one pagers. Also, last report I'm going to show you, a lot of people will say, oh, insurance is expensive. I Googled it after you showed it to me as a solution. And you know, Dave Ramsey says never to do it, or somebody else says don't ever do it. So we have a cost analysis report you can run on any IUL. And if we're doing a good job in the sales process, we say, well, what is it expensive compared to what? And they say, well, my mutual fund's 1%, or my 401k is 1.5%, or whatever it is. You can run a cost analysis report. It's a few inputs into our software. It produces a one-page compliant cost report, just like this, that just shows you, here's the average cost of this contract. And usually it's very, very reasonable. So other things that we can do with our software, I'm not going to cover all of them, but in the interest of time, we talked about the tax burden report, which just shows your total tax bill and what a conversion looks like. If you want to do the same thing and compare saving in an IUL to a 403B or a 401k, we have reports that shows here's your tax benefit and income benefit of saving in an IUL versus your 403 or 401k. You can even do it versus a Roth or a taxable account if you wish. So that's in our tax and income analysis. The cost analysis we looked at. If you have folks that are just never going to use these assets and you just want to show what an IUL, leaving an IUL to the beneficiaries looks like versus an IRA or 401k, we can do that. And then a lot of people love our simplified IUL report. This is, again, taking that 50-page carrier report, boiling it down to one page or 2 page that you can present that's compliant, that has all the things you want to show somebody, the premium invested, the initial death benefit, the value of the account at retirement age, the income it will present or offer to the client, the return assumption. Everything is on one page. It's compliant to use as a supplemental, makes showing an illustration a ton easier. So that's the marketing side and the software in a quick view to help you in this macro analysis process. And then just know that Stonewood offers a very comprehensive training. We do, when you come on, we certainly give you a success coach, show you how to use the software, show you how to talk and present and work on cases with you. But we also offer a live event that's part of your membership, and that is called Innovate IUL. We hear all the time this is the best life training in the industry, and it's just basically a day of best practices. So we introduced, I don't know, over the last 35 minutes, the core concepts of macro tax analysis. This is an event where we take a full day and we just say, here's what's working for agents and advisors to really talk about and present this report. Here's what they're doing marketing wise. Here's how to story sell this idea. Here's how to overcome objections. We take you through a full day of very comprehensive training, so you come out of it pumped up and ready to really be the expert in your area with this type of planning. So just know that that's available. Our next one's coming up in February, end of February, and we run one quarterly. So hopefully there's a date that fits your calendar. Again, that's in Louisville, Kentucky. If you're not into travel, we make all that on demand. So there's a lot on our site. You log in, you can go through our on-demand videos, do it at your own consumption. We do assign you a Stonewood Success Coach, as I mentioned, to help get you a quick start, bring you up to speed on customizing the marketing so you have your logos and info on there. And you have case help or event help, you can jump on our calendar and we can help out with that. And then as the industry changes, you'll see invitations to our study groups. So we'll run a study group probably about every 6 weeks. All of those, again, are archived. So if you can't attend them live and you're interested in our thoughts on what's happening with like the spending bill or the midterm elections and how that affects our business, we put out content for you to be sharp on it, but we also get white papers and memos that you can use in your business so you can drip on your clients and prospects with information like this. Just kind of keep, let them know that you're on top of those ideas as well. So those are the 3 key concepts from Stonewood. We really help in the tax-free message to really transform your business and complete your business, complete your client's portfolio. There's a lot of marketing content. The software helps the point of sale, and we make sure that you get a very comprehensive training around all of it. So just so you know what an annual membership costs, and I think we're in a great time of year to invest in these types of things, because from a micro tax analysis standpoint, what we invest, as all of you as business owners know, between now and the end of the year, we get to write off, right? As we go into next year. So we're pretty reasonably cost on a membership. If you think about landing one new IUL case throughout the next 12 months, what sort of returns could I get? Well, this is the pricing on our Stonewood premium membership, which gives you all of our marketing software and training, is $2,500. If you want to add the retirement tax bill microsite to use in marketing, it's an additional $1,000. So you basically get everything in our premium package, but you also get that landing page to market with. It's $3,500. And IMS picks up about $300 of each of these programs. So there's a discount that you can talk Trina and her team about getting a discount via IMS. And what we try to do is help you get a case, whether it's a current client or prospect. Might look like that Jim, I don't think we put a name to our example with the $500,000, but if we converted a guy's $500,000 to an IUL, where we took $100,000 out each year, $25,000 of it went to the IRS, $75,000 funded an IUL over 5 years of 5-pay, it's about 40 grand in revenue. And oftentimes when people have a decent qualified account, they probably have some other non-qualified assets too. So if this example, let's say you had $1.5 million, and we're saying, hey, let's convert the $500,000 into the IUL. Here's your tax reasons why we can save you 300 grand. Here's your income reasons why. We show the income reports where we can generate more income and benefit to his family. Typically, not only do we get a nice return on the IUL piece of it, but because you're differentiating your business, Jim might say, hey, let's do the IUL, but I want you to do the FIA part of my business as well. And if you're licensed to do AUM, I want you to manage the AUM part of my portfolio. And of course, it doesn't take a lot of these types of clients to really be meaningful and transforming your business. And this is, I like to show this example because like Bobby down in Florida that I showed you, where you're like, man, how do you get 18 new clients? He did a ton of annuities. He did a ton of AUM. He did a ton of target premium, almost $200,000. How do you do it? This is how. He got prospects, the new prospects, because he was telling a different story, not only brought their life business, but they wanted him to manage all their money, the annuities and the AUM too. So that's really what I wanted to share with you here today. I hope that you picked up some ideas and concepts that may be helpful as you finish up this year. And I'd encourage you, if this resonates with you and it's something that you'd like to do, get signed up for Stonewood. Talk to us, talk to your team in IMS, and let's get you onboarded and get your login and password so that you can start utilizing some of these resources, or at least business planning for next year on using these resources, so we can help you grow your business and attract more clients and really help you complete your practice with the tax-free message.
Tyler, thank you so very much. I did want to throw out there that the select membership for the younger age group only, it's the the basic membership. IMES will pay for that for you for a 12-month period if you agree to submit at least $25,000 in target premium through us. And then once the 12 months are over, it'll be reviewed and we'll discuss the ongoing membership being paid by IMES. So Tyler, did you want to open it up for questions while I put this last poll question up there?
Sure. Yeah, I think go ahead and do that. And I think, when we talked about the marketing, we talked about the folks under 60 still saving for retirement. That's really a different type of approach with, actively saving dollars in the IUL. And if that's your market more than the conversion plan, that's that select program that we offer, and it's only available on IMES. So he'll pick up the tab for you on it. Just talk to your team there. So yeah, please do. If we have questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Well, I've seen most success via the no compromise with the premium membership, but there is still a market in the younger age group for this.
Sure.
I'm gonna leave the poll up for a few more minutes or a few more seconds here. Well, if we don't have any questions, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up and thank everybody for attending. And Tyler, do you have anything else to say?
No, I don't. I appreciate everybody's time. Have a great Thanksgiving week with your families. And if we can be of service, we want to hear more about it or talk about it, happy to help in any way we can. So very thankful to be on the call, and everybody have a great Thanksgiving week with your family.
Thank you. You too, Tyler. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
All right. Bye.